Made to police by killer Gary Sampson just before he was captured.
News Center 5 at 6 with Natalie Jacobson begins right now.
Now, local live coverage you can count on. This is News Center 5.
I'm in a lot of trouble. I don't want to get shot. I don't want to get killed. I'm turning myself in. Okay? I don't want to get killed.
The voice of a killer heard for the first time outside the courtroom. Good evening. For the first time, the public is hearing the murder confession of Gary Sampson. Tapes, including a 911 call Sampson made just before his capture, are part of the sentencing phase of his trial in Boston's federal court, a trial that could bring the death penalty. News Center 5 has gained access to those confession tapes after winning a legal challenge over their release. Here's News Center 5's Amalia Beretta.
The afternoon Gary Sampson was taken into custody by Vermont State Police, the admitted killer was on the telephone to 911 from this ski chalet he had broken into, trying to turn himself in.
I'm in a lot of trouble. I don't want to get shot. I don't want to get killed. I'm turning myself in. Okay? I don't want to get killed.
Sampson refers to a call he made to the FBI the week before, which the agency ignored.
I told them, to be at the Island Grove Bridge at 3 o'clock. I turned myself in willingly. They didn't show up. I'm scared. I'm sick and tired of what I've been doing. And I need help. I'm a convicted felon. I've done 16 years in jail throughout my life. And I'm out here hurting people and stealing, and I can't take it. I killed 2 people in Massachusetts and another one in New Hampshire the other day. I tried to kidnap a man today and take his car. And I didn't want to hurt him, and I almost did, and I'm sick of it. I know I'm going to go to waste the rest of my life, but it's better I'm in there than out here. Because if I'm out here, I've got a problem.
For 7 days, Sampson had been on his killing spree, carjacking and murdering 69-year-old Philip McCloskey and 19-year-old Jonathan Rizzo in Massachusetts, and strangling to death 58-year-old Robert Whitney in New Hampshire. The day of Sampson's arrest, William Gregory says he picked up a hitchhiking Sampson because he looked like a stranded businessman. Gregory to the jury. He reached down into his left ankle area and pulled out a lock blade knife he had and told me not to do anything stupid. He hollered obscenities to me, that he'd killed other people and robbed banks. Gregory said Sampson first put the knife at his chest, then at his throat. He told me to find a dirt road and drive down it, and told me he'd tie me up and wasn't going to hurt me. I kept driving, and that's when he lunged back at me and told me he'd kill me, and kill me right there. William Gregory's harrowing story ends with him pulling into a rest area and bolting out of the car and running away. He said Sampson put the car in reverse and tried to run over him, but Gregory had already managed to run up an embankment and into some woods. Natalie?
Thank you, Amalia. Tonight, an elderly Webster woman is recovering from a frightening assault. Police say a neighbor forced his way into the woman's apartment last night, throwing the 77-year-old woman against a wall. Today, the suspect and his girlfriend faced assault charges in Dudley District Court. News Center 5's Rondella Richardson is live in Dudley.
Natalie, Ronald LeBeau is charged with unarmed assault and battery. His girlfriend charged.
I stood there and I thought, who in the heck could be that knocking at my door? Knocking and pounding and shoveling on the door like you wanted to really come in. Oh, he made it in all right.
77-year-old Ethel White is still a bit shaken up from the Friday night ordeal. She says around midnight, 39-year-old Ronald LeBeau broke in her apartment and charged at her.
He pushed me on the sofa. He pushed me up against the TV. My box went flying on the floor.
Her wrists are still bruised, and there's the aching.
Oh, that slap in the face, oh boy, that was damaging. One of the policemen went in the bathroom, took a wet cloth, nice cold water from it, you know, and rinsed it out and put it all over my face. I gave him some ice cubes.
Just as she was starting to relax, LeBeau's 30-year-old living girlfriend, Jody Dufault, showed up. The prosecutor says Grandma Ethel immediately became pale and nervous. That's when Dufault was arrested.
She wanted to talk to the lady, make sure she was okay, and find out what happened.
LeBeau's attorney says his client went to the wrong apartment, didn't know the alleged victim, and thought she was an intruder. Grandma Ethel says that's not so. They had met over a year ago at a restaurant and bar.
He was over there. I even had a nice dance with the young man. But when he's under the weather, I'm telling you, he was like a wild animal when he came in here.
He is not a violent individual. I admit he does get intoxicated, but he's a hard-working kid. You know, he's a great father.
The Webster couple have 5 children between them. LeBeau is being held on $10,000 cash bail. His girlfriend walked out of here after paying $500 cash bail. Live from Dudley District Court, Rondella Richardson, News Center 5. Natalie.
Thank you, Rondella. For a 9th time, a Hudson man has been arrested and charged with drunk driving. He was driving without a license. 40-year-old Robert Sheridan was arrested Friday night after he slammed into a Marlboro police cruiser on Route 20. Police said Sheridan crossed into the officer's lane. The policeman was not seriously injured. Sheridan's record includes 6 previous DUI convictions in Massachusetts and 2 in New Hampshire. His last conviction was 1992. He was sent to jail for 18 months at that time, and his license was taken away for 10 years. He is held without bail until a dangerousness hearing later this week. Another Democratic presidential hopeful made the trip to New Hampshire today to make his candidacy in the state's first-in-the-nation primary official. Joe Lieberman filed his papers at the State House today, and it was a family affair. The Connecticut senator brought his mother and sister with him. Lieberman says he's running to restore prosperity and security to the country and to bring fairness and integrity to the White House. Lieberman had a single-digit showing in the latest poll, but Howard Dean extended his double-digit lead over rival John Kerry, favored by 39% compared with Kerry's 23%. The Marist College Institute for Public Opinion poll sampled opinions of Democrats and independents planning to vote in the New Hampshire primary. 14% were undecided. If you need more information on the candidates that are running for president, including their positions on major issues, we invite you to log on to thebostonchannel.com. After 2 days of deliberations, a jury in Virginia found Washington, D.C. sniper John Mohammed guilty. And now the jury must decide if Mohammed should die for what he did. Mohammed stood expressionless as the verdicts were read, guilty on all 4 counts. Family members of victims held hands and wiped away tears. Mohammed was found guilty of killing Dean Harold Myers, shot in the head as he filled his gas tank at a Manassas, Virginia gas station.
We have put our faith in the jury, and we feel they have made the right decision.
I consider the justice to have been served, and I believe that the prosecution did a masterful job.
In Chesapeake, Virginia, prosecutors launched their case against Mohammed's co-conspirator, 18-year-old Lee Malvo. Malvo's attorneys claim their client was brainwashed by Mohammed, and he should be found not guilty by reason of insanity. Police in Taunton continue to investigate a bizarre case of alleged animal neglect. Dozens of starving cats were rescued from an apartment on Sunday, an apartment that also contained voodoo dolls and other occult paraphernalia. As News Center 5's Gail Huff reports, the owner of the apartment has been found, but many questions remain.
Tonight, veterinarians are working to save 32 cats rescued from a filthy apartment in Taunton. Some of the cats have already died of starvation.
They're very malnourished. Right now, we're trying to give them some IV fluids and try to do the best that we can for the animals right now. Almost half of them are going to survive.
Police say it may have been weeks since the cats were fed. They lived in feces and cat hair several inches thick. Their owner, 44-year-old Deborah Flint, turned herself into police this morning after learning she may face criminal charges of animal cruelty, charges the district attorney is considering.
36 cats is too much for anybody, one person, and it almost gets into a hoarding complex.
But police are also concerned about the discovery of items such as these found inside the apartment.
There was a tapestry that had a satanic symbol. There was a book for witchcraft, or I was told it was a satanic Bible. I'm not sure on that. There were several voodoo dolls, candles, and jars of different stuff.
Authorities say Flint practices a pagan religion known as Wicca. The city's animal control officer says that numerous cats have been removed from her apartment before.
It's too nasty to talk about it.
Too nasty?
Yeah.
The landlord's family says Flint's collecting cats has been a problem. Flint's daughter, Talia, refused to go on camera, but told us it got out of control. She had too many cats, but she's not a Satan worshiper. It will cost about $8,000 to clean up the apartment, but the bigger concern tonight is saving as many cats as possible. In Taunton, Gail Huff, News Center 5.
Unplugged on the T, subway officials want to tone down the music from station musicians. Also ahead, we'll show you how the Red Cross is helping victims of that massive mill fire in Pawtucket. We'll be right back.
You're watching News Center 5 at 6. Local live coverage you can count on.
It's almost here. Yep, I'm talking about winter. And here at News Center 5, we continue to lead the way with local live weather coverage. We have the most experienced team of meteorologists to do it, and we have great technology. For years now, Storm Track 5 live Doppler radar has taken you to exactly where it's raining and snowing at exactly that moment. We're determined to give you the best weather coverage yet. You can count on us. We are local live weather coverage you can count on.
When you talk about important design features, the GMC Envoy can teach the imports a lesson. Because with a tighter turning radius and more horsepower than Honda Pilot, Toyota 4Runner, and Lexus RX 330, the Envoy is engineered to be in a class of its own. Right now, it's a 2004 Envoy 4x4 SLE for around $329 a month. Call for residency restrictions and lease details. See the pros at your New England GMC dealers.
Over the past 20 years, I've learned that Toyota makes a higher quality vehicle. That's just the way it is. And when you see this new Camry in person, you'll see what I mean.
Right now, you could lease a Camry for just $199 a month for 36 months with $19.99 due at signing, or get special low financing. Thinking about Highlander? Same Camry quality in an SUV.
But don't take my word for it. Ask someone you know who drives one.
Hurry, the Thanksgiving sales event ends December 1st.
Experience Disney's The Lion King. Tickets on sale Friday at 6 a.m. at the Colonial Theater.
Subaru, driven by what's inside. Now get 0% financing on all Subaru models and up to $2,000 customer cash back. Plus, special factory-to-dealer incentives make this a great time to buy a new Subaru. Subaru, America's #1 selling all-wheel drive vehicle. For details and a list of local Subaru dealers, go to NewEnglandSubaru.com. Subaru, driven by what's inside.
Closed captioning brought to you by Verizon.
You're watching News Center 5 at 6. With Natalie Jacobson, meteorologist Dick Albert, and Mike Lynch on sports. Local live coverage you can count on continues.
Families left homeless after Friday's mill fire in Pawtucket, Rhode Island now have help from the Red Cross. A help center has been set up at the Comfort Inn in Pawtucket to aid the 28 families left without homes. On Friday, the fire gutted the Greenhall Mill complex and damaged or destroyed at least 17 homes and businesses in the surrounding neighborhoods. Investigators say they now know where the fire started. Now they must determine the cause. Damages are estimated at some $3 million. The cleanup continues on Newbury Street today, just a day after a frightening fire damaged 14 apartments and left some 24 people homeless there. This is Newbury Street near Kenmore Square. Everyone escaped without serious injury, and firefighters say they were lucky considering they found several disabled smoke detectors. But officials say disabling a smoke detector is a crime, and the landlord is responsible for them. The owner of the building says he's glad everyone's okay and he's doing what he can to help people find new places to live. Most won't be playing Symphony Hall anytime soon, but for weary commuters, the musicians who play at MBTA stations are a welcome diversion. Now, in the name of safety, T officials want to tone down the tunes, and beginning next month, a new policy will ban amplifiers. A sour note or not? News Center 5's Jim Boyd went to find out.
Under the new policy, this sound will continue to be music to the T's ears. but this would be taboo. As of December 1st, the MBTA is banning the use of amplifiers by subway performers. The musicians will also be prohibited from using electric guitars, drums, or keyboards. Neither will they be able to play horns, trumpets, or trumpet-like instruments. The T says it's in the interest of rider comfort, safety, and security.
If the music is drowning out important announcements over the intercom system, some of which are required under the Americans with Disabilities Act, some having to do with public safety or service disruptions, then that's affecting our customers. And as a public transit agency, we can't stand by and let that happen.
But the musicians say the new policy threatens their livelihood.
Whether you play guitar or sing or some combination, banjo, any of that kind of thing, you need some type of amplification to be heard down here. It's very noisy.
It's a privilege for them to be here, not a right. We're just asking that they play their music at a reasonable volume.
Musicians say they pose no threat to security on the MBTA. As a matter of fact, they say there are times when they have been helpful.
Many times announcements have been made by the musicians using their amplification systems because the T's system was not working.
As for the public, many people hope the musicians will be able to stay.
Oh, I like to see it continue. I like to see it continue. I wouldn't want it to stop.
I think it's terrific. It shows that they have quite a bit of talent.
It's always nice to listen to something different besides the train.
In Boston, I'm Jim Boyd, News Center 5.
Dick Albert's forecast may not be music to your ears. Enjoy tomorrow because the rest of the week's going downhill and fast. And then Peter Jennings joins us at 6:30.
Hello and thank you. A lot of news on the broadcast tonight. John Allen Muhammad and the sniper killings around Washington, the jury's decision from Iraq today, what the U.S. is accomplishing by using some pretty heavy armor in the latest operations, and a fascinating report on new birth control pills for women. After you.
Tents, backpack, sleeping bag. I think that.
Now, meteorologist Dick Albert and the Storm Track 5 forecast.
Weather's going downhill, you tell me?
Yes, it is, and I'm going to explain why.
It's November. It's New England.
It's November. That's right.
Says it all.
New England. You don't have to say more than that. November is not a nice month weather-wise. Lots of clouds. Here's the situation right now. We have a fast flow of air with the jet stream. We're in a dry slot, which is going to be okay for tomorrow, but the whole situation is going to change, and what we call cutoff lows, separated from the jet stream, going to develop one here out west, one here along the east coast, and that means storms spin and move very, very slowly. Could be a major storm out west with a lot of snow in the mountains, and could be many, many cloudy days with some rain here along the east coast. So typical November stuff here. We did have a little rain today, but it's just exiting the Cape and the islands. No real problem there. So the pick of the week is really tomorrow. I think we'll have some sunshine, temperatures 48 to 52, light winds. Not too shabby of a day at all, but after that, all bets are off for sunshine. It looks like these clouds that are really developing in the middle portion of the country will be here for several days once they get here. And we also have easterly winds, which adds to the chance of drizzle and low clouds along the coast. 42 now in Boston, 2.30, a little bit of an easterly wind, and the pressure is fairly high. And the temperatures around the area generally in the 30s and 40s, as you'll see here. 45 in Boston, 37 in Albany, a little warmer in New York, but it's not going to be a big change the next couple of days, but it is going to warm up a little bit. Tomorrow should be around that 50-ish with light winds off the ocean with some sunshine, but this area of clouds and rain is going to have to be looked at closely, and that upper level situation I was talking about, that's going to develop and cause a lot of cloudiness starting on Wednesday. Not much rain here on Wednesday, a little drizzle, a little rain, most of the rain to the west of us, but after that, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, we could have periods of rain each day. All right, here's my forecast now for the next 5 days. Some clearing, patchy fog overnight, 28 to 39 degrees, and then tomorrow, early fog in a few spots, can't be ruled out, but then some sun developing, light winds, temperatures 48 to 52, and your 5-day forecast shows cloudy on Wednesday, a little warmer, rain to the west, And then rainy periods, I would say, Thursday, Friday into Saturday, and fairly breezy, too, as we get into the latter portion of the week. That's my forecast for now. Nat, Bob?
All righty, Dick. Bob Halloran here with sports. How about them Pats?
I'll tell you, I've heard some people criticize the aesthetics of the Patriots, like they don't look good enough. But what looks really good is an 8-2 record. That looks good. Talk more about it when we come back.
The win column looks very pretty.
And tonight on News Center 5, after Monday Night Football, legal analysis of Gary Sampson's murder confession.
I'm scared. I'm sick and tired of what I've been doing, and I need help.
Will this tape help Sampson avoid the death penalty? Hear from our legal analyst, Judge Robert Barton. That is tonight, after Monday Night Football.
The serious investment in his cat's oral hygiene.
Live with Bob Halloran, this is SportsCenter 5.
Well, the Patriots just keep finding ways to win, and last night they did it with a shutout, which is the first time they've done that since 1996, when Bill Parcells was their head coach. Last night, Parcells was the other head coach. Mike Dowling has more on the game that gave the Patriots top billing.
It was supposed to be just the Patriots against the Cowboys, but when he shows up, it is always much more, no matter how hard everyone tries to downplay it.
I never really got caught up in it. You know, my main focus was the Cowboys, not Bill versus Bill.
Including the Tuna himself regarding facing his former assistant coach of 16 years.
You know, I'm about tired of talking about that kind of thing. The guy did a hell of a job for me for a long time, so people in the media can try and drive a stake between us if they want to, but that's not going to happen on my point.
No stake between them, but I'm doubting they exchanged Christmas cards. Before this one, they didn't even exchange handshakes, in stark contrast to all of the joking and hugging that usually goes on these days between opponents, before and after games. While it is just a game, it is an extremely competitive one. And one in this case which needed a little excitement from the sidelines, because there wasn't a whole heck of a lot in between the lines, save these two long plays which set up 9 Patriot points, which was more than enough to beat Parcells' Cowboys, whose #1 ranked defense was outplayed by his former students' defense.
So obviously this was not Bill against Bill, but it was more like Bill Parcells against the Patriots' defense, many of whom Bill Parcells drafted, like Willie McGinnis.
We knew they was going to try to hammer the ball and run the ball at us, and you know, I think we did a pretty good job. I don't know how many yards they had, but they couldn't beat us with the run tonight.
Well, I'm glad that it's over and we don't have to see these guys again.
Bill congratulated me on the win. I told him that you know, I thought he had a good football team, and that you know, wished him well.
Mike Dowling, SportsCenter 5.
Hugs for everyone. For the first time ever, the American League's Most Valuable Player award went to a player on a last-place team. Rangers shortstop Alex Rodriguez narrowly beat out Toronto's Carlos Delgado and Jorge Posada of the Yankees. It's almost like a Lifetime Achievement Award for A-Rod, who did not win it in the past 2 seasons when he hit over 50 homers and drove in over 130 runs. This year, he had his lowest RBI total in 5 years, which was 27 RBI fewer than Delgado, who came in second. And how about this? A-Rod got 6 first-place votes, and Red Sox DH David Ortiz got 4 first-place votes, getting a little recognition for a great season. He drove in 101 runs, hit 31 homers this past year, and Manny Ramirez and Nomar Garciaparra each received 1 first-place vote as well. And A-Rod, by the way, says he's open to the idea of being traded, and so he'll listen to anybody, including the Red Sox. Yeah, it might be interesting.
Interesting indeed. All right, Bob, tonight on News Center 5 after Monday Night Football, which is San Francisco and Pittsburgh, right? We'll have the story on our newscast of a school science experiment in Sturbridge that went so wrong, police called in the Homeland Security Response Team. Interesting story. Thank you for being with us tonight. World News with Peter Jennings is coming up next. We all wish you a pleasant evening, and get well lynching.
Local live coverage you can count on. This has been a presentation of News Center 5. Have things